Hello, hello. I see I have a crew on here already. Oh my goodness. Hello, let's talk about the subject today. I want to talk about aging. I know many of my viewers are seniors, and many of you have got a pillow behind here to kind of support my back. You know, that's a good topic to talk about aging as we're getting older. We need more back support. But that's something I want to talk about today. And uh Okay. So anyhow, let's see. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it situated. Let me see. Get this over here a little bit more. There, so I have a little more comfort there. Comfort going on there. All right. Well, who's in the house? Graham. Oh my goodness, Graham, you're the first one. I'm not going to start off with your jokes today, Graham. I'm going to because I don't have time to edit them in case you have some like you had last week. Uh, uh, okay, I'll do this one though. Where can older men over the age of 65 find younger women who are interested in them? In the bookstore section under fiction. Now that's a good one. I'll go for that one, Graham. uh, let's see, Graham. I'll do one more. Um, old age has made me a great at multitasking. I can now sneeze and pee at the same time. I hate to admit it, but I think I'm about in that category too, Graham. Oh my goodness. Hey, Martina one. Hello, hello. Uh uh hey, always wandering, how are you today? Oh my goodness. Violets and roses. Hey. Uh um I'm going to hold off on some of your uh hold on. Some of your you have really got them loaded down today, Graham. Uh you know you are getting old when you need a book a fire rescue crew to escort your birthday cake. Yeah, that would be a sign you're getting older. Oh my goodness. Hey Sheila, hello. Says hello to Jessica and everyone tonight. Hey Nora, one of my great moderators, along with um Martha and Graham. Hey, Nora. Uh Everyone is saying hello to everyone. And hey, Miss Net, another one of my great, fabulous moderators, as well as Vaughn's on a roll. Everyone's saying hello, hello. Hey, did I miss Stay Tuned? Hey, Stay Tuned. I hope I didn't miss anyone else. If I did, come back and say hello, and I will greet you. Hey, John's Deb, how are you? Hey, Jackie, hi. We haven't talked. I want to talk and see what's happening with your channel. I've just been so busy this week. Whew, no, many of you know because I've announced it before that we're actually supposed to be somewhere else right now. We got delayed in getting on the road, but getting house sitting set up and everything. But we got it all going. We're gonna hit the road for a few days, and then in December, as many of you know, I had been waiting because I just did not want to fly. You know, with everything going on with air traffic controllers and the, TSA and everything else. But so I've decided, and I'll let you know as I get on the road where I'm going. I have some people that I've been trying to interview. One young woman, I've been trying to interview her for maybe 6 months. Well, I reached out to her originally 6 months ago, and someone else I've just reached out to in the last month, and I'm going to actually travel to do those interviews. So the only window of opportunity I have is right in the beginning area of December. So again, getting house sitting set up and everything, but I really am going to try and make it to get to these planned interviews that I just have not been able to get going because I didn't want to fly and I really didn't want to drive. But I have not got my, what do you call it, my real driver's license yet. And it's not come yet. So if I don't have my real driver's license, I can't fly and I can't find my passport. And So, so I'll have to drive, which was not in the plans, but hey, it is what it is. But get this anyhow, I'll get back to that later. Hi, Liza. That's Nora's niece, Liza. Hello, hello. And everyone else. Who else is in the house here? Um, I think I said hello to everyone. I think I have Caroline, Hannah. Hello, hello. And stay tuned. I think I said hello to stay tuned. And GBO Searcher 3686. Hey, Stacy Jones and Finding Dory. That always makes me crack up when I say that. Wanda's in the house. Bunny Smith. Oh my goodness, everyone is here. The gang is gathering. Happy Mac and uh Mordick Washington. Hey, Mordick. I think, are you new, Mordick, in the house? Graham says, I think we can all agree that the timeout generation has not worked out as well as the ass whipping generation. Oh, yeah. I will definitely. Oh, yeah. You got my, now that you've got my vote on. Absolutely. Absolutely. This timeout. Whew. And the participation awards have not worked as well as actually giving awards for first, second, and third place. Yeah, I would go with that too. Hey, Letha. Hello, hello. Um, everyone's saying hello. Hey, Happy Mac. Hello, hello. I gonna get right into our topic today. I do have a video that is supposed to. Oh, what did I do with my thing? It's supposed to be coming out. Oh, here it is. I have not, I don't know what happened. I thought I had uploaded this video. I did not. So I'm going to be uploading it now and it will be coming out late, which around 4 o'clock. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. So, but I do want to get this video out because I think it's important. And it's talking about some of the benefits, the real joys of getting older. And I talk in this video about how so often, so often we have you noticed that for those of my senior globies, have you noticed that so often when you talk to when you talk to your friends that are your same ages, that you tend to talk about your aches, your pains, your um last doctor's appointment, what's wrong with you, how things are how things are falling apart. Have you noticed that, or is it just me? That's what I find that so often I'm talking about. I was just talking to a very dear friend the other day, and they were sharing with me how they had missed an appointment with someone and they scheduled it. They get together with a friend, and they completely forgot about it. The person called, was waiting for them. They rescheduled it again. They forgot about it again, even though they had it on their calendar. As we get older, those things seem to happen more and more. And I'm wondering, do we really ever take the time to stop and think about all the benefits of getting older? And I just wanted to give us a chance today, as Thanksgiving is approaching us and we're talking about things to be grateful for. One thing is actually really getting older. There's so many things that we acquire, and I don't mean possessions, but I mean wisdom as we get older, that we lose sight of because we're so focused on the challenges, a knee replacement, a hip replacement, uh, just one thing after another, high blood pressure, high sugar, but so often we don't focus on really the benefits and the wisdom that we have gained by being older. Hey, Carrie Joe. Hey, Letha. Hello, hello. I think I said hi to Happy Mac. And hey, Marie Bittencourt. Hello, hello. It says Marie says, "I don't blame you for not wanting to fly." Yeah, um, I'm at the point where I would start thinking about flying again, but not having my reel. So I'm gonna, and that's the first step too in getting and starting getting my process going for getting my permanent residency in another country. But we'll talk about that more as I start that process. Um, hey, Billy Clover. Did I miss Billy Clover? Hello, hello. Stuns, hello. And who else? Patty. Hello, Patty. Hello, how are you? And Maria, I said hi to Maria. Bunny said Jane Fonda and Anne Appleborn just did a video on how good attitude causes you to live 7 more years. Wow. I'll have to let me oh my phone is uploading my video right now, so I'll have to go look at that a little later, Bunny. But I've heard also a friend of mine sent me over a link where Michelle Obama and Jane Fonda also did a video on the joys of getting older, and both of them, they look fabulous, don't they? I mean, Jane Fonda, isn't she like in her 80s or something? That woman looks amazing. So they were talking about, getting older, but I definitely want to see that one with Jane. I haven't seen the one with Michelle Obama and Jane Fonda, and I want to also see that. Thank you. As soon as this gets through loading up, I can't interrupt it right now or I'll have to start all over. But do go and watch the video that I will be airing shortly, and it should be up by the hopefully soon, about the some of the benefits of getting older. Um Vaughn says, Carol, I set reminder alarms on my phone so I don't forget. I know I set those too. I had a dentist appointment this week for cleaning on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. They sent me a notice to confirm. I sent over the confirmation. They sent me another notice. I sent back a confirmation. This was on Sunday. Tuesday, I don't know what happened. I think it was in my, I don't know, but anyhow, the phone rings about 10 minutes after 11. It's the dentist's office. Miss Meeks, are you anywhere near the office? And I was like, why? They said, because your appointment is at 11 and it's 11:10. I was like, what? I had all of these reminders, all of these things, and I still somehow missed it. So I don't know. Is it just about because of getting old or what is it? Let me hold on. Let me take a picture of this. It's uploaded. Let me take a picture of this thing about Jane Fonda and Applebaum, because I definitely want to go see that. But are any of you finding that as you're getting older, you're slipping a little? Or is it just me and my friends? Is it just me and my friends? Uh, thanks. Hey, Tim from Mobang for your bucks. Thank you. Hit that like button. Hit those like buttons. Are Yeah, it helps the algorithm. I can't explain why, but it does. Uh, um, Stay tuned says Carol. I sound more like my grandmother every day. Oh my goodness. For those of you women and men, the women, are you finding that you've become your mother? And men, are you become finding that you've become your fathers? I mean, is it just me? Oh my goodness. Hey, Liddell, one of my members. Hello, hello. Um, yeah, Bunny, we'll definitely have to look for that. But hey, Anna Marie, hello, hello. But yeah, are you guys finding that you're doing things that you used to think when your parents did them were so bizarre or so weird? I mean, like I'll save aluminum foil to use again when I wrap it over something in the oven and it's not all dirty. I'll say, "Oh, I can use this for, it doesn't get dirty, didn't get I just cover the top." Or I'll use it to wrap up the leftovers, that instead of getting another sheet. And I used to think, Mom, why do you do that? Just throw it out and get another sheet of aluminum foil. I mean, I find I'm doing so many of the things that my mom used to do that it's just crazy. Oh my goodness. Everyone, hey Nancy, did I miss Nance? Hello, Nance, how are you? Always wondering says, I saw the Obama interview. Good one. Okay, I will go. Yeah, Bunny says, well into her 80s, I believe. Yes, yes. Yeah. Say Tune says, plastic surgery helps, Jane. It does, but hey, she's very fit and she looks really, really good in her clothes. But then she was, remember how she used to came out with all those fitness videos and stuff? Yeah, yeah. Carrie Joe says at Mary Maria Bet. Thank you. Um, uh, Letha says both Fonda and Michelle are wealthy women, so of course they're happier. I don't agree with that, Letha. I know some people who have a good amount of money who are miserable. Now, if you're going to be miserable, yeah, I'd rather be miserable with money than without money. I mean, if I'm going to be miserable anyhow, I'd rather be comfortable while I'm miserable. And money can help buy you freedom. I would agree to that. It can buy you freedom from some worries in life. But money can't help you if your kids get off track and they get on drugs and I mean, there's certain things money can't help you if your wife or husband leaves you. Money, I mean, the death of a child. I mean, there are things that money cannot make you happy over. So I don't think money in and of itself is something that makes you happy. I think it can absolutely can add to your comfort, but I don't I let me just say this, money does not guarantee happiness. I think that's the best way to put it. Money does not guarantee happiness. And yeah, both Fonda and Michelle are wealthy, so yeah, they have many more advantages than most of us. But I know people who don't have hardly any money who are full of joy. I look at Mother Teresa, you know? I mean, she was dedicated to a life of poverty, and I think joy and peace radiated from her. So I'm not saying that being poor makes you happy either, but I money doesn't guarantee happiness. Um, Billy says it's no fun to get old. Well, there certainly are some things about getting old that are not fun. As a person, as an old lady myself, I will acknowledge that. But there are other things I'm so much, well, I don't know about so much, but I am wiser in many different areas than I was when I was younger. I'm more discerning about people. I'm more selective about who I let in my life, who I let remain in my life, what boundaries I set and what boundaries I'm not willing to let people cross. I let people, I had boundaries, but I let people cross them when I was younger, more often than not. So, what are some things that some of you have found about getting older? Maria says, wow, that's amazing. You're getting a resident visa in another country where I'm going to wait to announce that until I actually see that I'm able to do it. And then I will share each step of the way as I go through it. And I'm probably going to start sharing once I make a trip over there or start through the application process. But yeah, I and my goal is not, and I'll talk about that more if you want at the end, towards the end of the video, but I want to talk more about aging right now. But just briefly, I don't plan to live the whole time. I plan to live there part-time and in the United States part-time, but I want to have it as an option in case things just go totally, to hell in a handbasket here. So I just want to have that as an option. Happy Max says, being older, I've never been so happy, not caring what other thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Others think of me or what I'm doing. I used to be paralyzed with the thought of what others thought of me. That is one of the things I talk about in the video, and I'll share that with you a little just tip or hint of what's in the video. I find that I really, as I said in the video, I don't give a flying flip about what people think about me now. Most people. Now there are people whose opinions I respect and those I care for and those I know who care about me. If they have an opinion and I value their judgment, and I know they really have my best interest at heart, I do care about their opinion. I'm not gonna care about it so much that I'm gonna sometimes change my mind, but I will give thought and consideration to what they say, and I might change my mind and I might not, but I will certainly give thought to, their input because I value them and I respect them, and I know that when they speak to me about something, it's out of a love and concern for what's best for me. So, Vaughn says, "Happy Mac." I agree. Um, Letha says, "Happy Mac." Wow, really? How completely awful that sounds. What? Not caring about what others think of you? Letha, I think that's fabulous. Not having that's a burden. It's a burden to be paralyzed by what others think about you. And having others' opinions of you stop you from going forward. I've had people give me some really bad advice on opinions that, had I followed, would have been disastrous. I've learned as I get older, I've learned who to listen to, who not to, and I've learned to trust my gut. That's one of the most important things. And those of you who are full-time nomads, how many times has trusting your gut about when to stay somewhere, when not, when to leave, when to go somewhere else, how many times has not that probably not helped to keep you safe? So if you're talking about Letha, terrible, awful, not caring about what other people think, I think it's wonderful. I think it's absolutely spectacular to be free of that burden because it truly is a burden in my opinion. What do you guys think? Bunny says, "I'm just an old newbie," an old newbie. I agree. I love not giving a flip, I'll say flip, about what others think anymore. As we get older, I used to, if everything wasn't perfect before I left the house, I mean, I still like to look presentable, but if everything wasn't perfect or if people would make a comment, about something, I would feel mortified. It's like, "Phew, oh well, you don't like it, then you don't have to do it. If you don't like the way I'm dressed, then don't dress like me. If you don't like, and having a YouTube channel has helped me because it's helped me to develop a thicker skin. I remember someone put on one of my videos, just a really nasty person. They said, "Wow, you sure need to get some braces." And I thought, now, what was the point of that other than to just be nasty? Now, maybe 40 years ago, if that long, 40 years ago, I might have thought, oh my, oh, I need to cover. But now, hey, this is who I am. I'm not trying to improve myself for someone else, especially some nasty old biddy. You know, sorry, that's probably not a nice thing to say, but I think it's probably true. Oh, that's the other thing. I speak more openly now. I don't I don't speak trying to hurt people's feelings, but I will speak the truth more freely instead of trying to hold back and be real cautious. I mean, I'm still trying to be mindful of people's feelings, but not to the point now that I used to. But uh Pata says, let me see, hold on. Let me put my glasses on. Why didn't I put my glasses on so I can read this better? Hold on, let me wipe these things clean. Okay. Pat Pat D says, happens to me all the time. I get off the couch to go on the computer to check something, and when I get to the computer, I forgot why I went there. It drives me crazy. It happens to me. If I'm talking to someone, I get interrupted and then go back. I forget the point I was going to make. I mean, it just, Oh, and this happens now, yeah, this may have happened to us when we were younger, maybe once in a blue moon, but I find it happening more and more now. Or how many of you have found this? You go to say something and you're trying to figure out the word you're wanting to use and you know the word, but you can't pull the word out. Has that happened to any of you? I mean, eventually, maybe 15 minutes later, I'll say, "Oh yeah, yeah, discernment." And it's like 15 minutes later for it to process through the computer in my brain to finally pull up that card with that word on it. How many of you have found that that happens to you too? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Uh, Happy Max, smiling, stunned, says yes. Billy Clover says, sometimes I'm slipping once in a while. I hate to admit it, Billy, but I'm slipping more than once in a while. Bunny Smith said, yeah, and Applebaum addresses that, says everyone forgets stuff whenever their age, but they don't call it junior moments. Okay, all right. Sheila says, I never forget anything, appointments, etc. Wow. You're better than me, Sheila. I have to say, I forget all the time. If I don't write it down, I have to write. Well, what I do now is I'll tell Jess, Jess, we're going in the store for this, this, and this. Don't let me forget. So she's kind of my list when she's with me. uh, um, Jackie McDonald says, my friend has a home in Ontario, Canada, but she lives in Escondido. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people do that. They will have a home someplace but live somewhere else at least part of the year. Letha says, I'm definitely not my mother, but I do have a few of the same wrinkles she has. Okay. All right. Caroline says, even at age 63, I'm beginning to forget appointments. I know. I know. Miss Net says, same here, Happy Mac. I don't try to fit in, and I'm so much happier because of it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. It truly, Miss Net, doesn't it just make your life so much happier? Just being who you are, letting it just all out there, and people either take you for who you are or don't. And the ones that don't, you just say, well, bye. Nice knowing you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You know? Hey, CW Style. Hello, hello. Vaughn says, Sheila, aren't you remarkable? Absolutely, I tell you. Billy says, I call it senior moments. I call it senior moments too. Happy Max says, awesome. Always wondering says, yoga and barefoot shoes have helped me a lot as I get older. Now, what are barefoot shoes? Are you talking about just going barefoot, or is that actually a kind of shoe? I think I do remember. They're kind of like uh shoe with a band over it. Is that what you're talking about? They're kind of like comfortable clogs, but not clogs. Uh Ma SF Garden Oasis says, I write appointment on my planner, calendar at work, and on my phone reminder. Wow, you have three places. I probably need three places too, like that. Liddell is saying hi to Miss Net. Caroline says, yes, I'm becoming more like my parents. Oh my goodness. Maria says, yes, I do weird stuff my mom used to do too. Isn't that something? Is it something that's down deep in our brain? And as we get older, it starts coming more and more to the surface? Or do we just see the value in what they did as we get older and see the wisdom in some of the things that they did and the choices that they made? Letha says hormones drive a lot of lives and especially our health, including our neurological health and memory. I would imagine hormones do play an important role. Carrie Joe says, I sometimes have to pause to come up with the right word, chalking it up to COVID brain. I do too. I have to pause. It's not that I have to pause to come up with the right word. I have a word that I know I want to say, and I can't pull it out. I just can't get the word. I go to say something and it's like it's in there and I know it's in there and I'm trying to find it in my brain and I can't pull it out. I'm like, first couple times it happened to me, it really scared me. I'll be honest. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm coming down with Alzheimer's. I'm coming down. But then I realized, no, maybe it's just, it stands to reason that as just like a car gets older, parts start to wear out. I guess our brain starts to kind of slow down and wear out too, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Um, Bunny says, always wandering. I started yin yoga in May. I love it. What is yin yoga? I'll have to check it out. Um, Jackie says, start riding a bike, Carol. I do need to start riding a bike, and I have one. So I was asking a friend, I was asking actually Jay the other day, do you want to start riding bikes at the beach? Because that's my favorite place, and there's always people down there riding bikes. So I'm thinking I may start doing that, Jackie. Um, Everyone's saying hello. Sheila says, I try Vons and my memory is great. I'm very lucky that way. You really are, Sheila. You're more lucky than you realize. Um, uh, my, is this my Sivan? Says, hi, Yvonne. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am paranoid when I forget things and fear dementia. I know. I was getting a little scared too, but I thought, you know what? Even if I was getting that, I'm not going to let whatever good time I have left be clouded and ruined by worry, you know? So that's how I addressed it. You know what? It's probably getting older, but if it is something different, if I only have so much time in my right mind, I don't want to ruin it and wreck it by worry. And then the time that I had left to really fully enjoy life, I didn't. So, and that's one of the other things about getting older. My reasoning, I reason out things, and and I don't want to give away everything that I said in the video, but I do go with the flow more. And I find that that might be a way that would be helpful to you, I hope. Hey, another member in the house. Hey, Victoria Ritchie says, oh, laughing out loud. Yes, my son and daughter in law tell me to stop saving things like foil plastic forks. I know, I know. My mom saved everything. She would rinse it out, wash it out. And I would say, Mom, that's the whole point of having plastic forks, so you can throw them out. But I find myself sometimes, not all the times, but occasionally, if I'm going to have dessert later, I'll save that fork from dinner because we use plastic a lot. I'll save it from dinner till later for dessert instead of throwing it out. And foil, yep, I do reuse foil. Oh my goodness. Adele saying hi to Vaughn. Letha says, I didn't say money is the key to happiness. I said they're wealthier today than when they were younger. Well, actually, what you said was they're wealthy and that they're happier. You alluded that they were happier because they're wealthy. But yeah, money, good. I'm glad you realize money is not the key to happiness. And yeah, they are wealthier today than when they were younger. However, um, Jane Fonda grew up with her father being Henry Fonda. So she grew up a pretty privileged life in terms of financially. Her father was a very well known, well established, and very successful attorney. So she didn't grow up poor. So, but did she gain much more success financially on her own and through her own endeavors? Yeah, but Jane Fonda did not grow up poor by any means, from what I can determine. If anyone knows something I don't know, let me know. But stay tuned, says Carrie Joe. Me too. Sometimes I don't think of it until the next day. Oh my goodness. By the next day, I completely have forgotten about it. Stay tuned. I will sometimes think of it maybe 10, 15 minutes later, sometimes 5 minutes later. But if I really try to stress myself out and try to think about it, then it's harder. So I just, once I let it go, stop trying to force it, then all of a sudden I remember. So, oh, you know what? I had told my brother we were planning on being somewhere today where I wouldn't have, internet. So I told him that I was going to be canceling my live, but then I just didn't want to cancel my live with you guys. If I miss it, let me call him and tell him I'm having my live so he can, because he thinks I'm not having one today. Hey, Patty says, I know my mom and my aunt had great attitudes and they both lived pretty long. I really think that has something to do with it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, just want to let you know I'm on live. Just calling you, let you know I decided to have a live. We're not where we thought we would be right now. Talk to you later. Bye bye. So I told my brother yesterday I'm not going to have a live because we're going to be in such and such a place and we won't have internet. And so anyhow, but that didn't happen. We're not getting started till tomorrow. Uh, yeah, Patty, I really think that it has a huge they say it has a huge impact on your health. So, and your health impacts your longevity. So, it stands to reason that having a good attitude would extend your life. Hey, Sandra Conway says, "Hi, Glow. If I didn't put everything on my calendar, remember, it will get missed, i.e., bills, reminders, etc. I'm 69 years old. Every day is different, and I don't rely on my memory for anything anymore." Now, there's some things, Sandra, that I still do remember, like, certain payments, but some things, a lot of things I do forget, and I have to put them on my calendar. Now, some things that are due on the first, every month on the first, credit cards due on the fourth. So I always remember that. Well, I don't always, but most of the time I do. But I try now at the beginning of the month, just go down and take care of everything so I don't miss anything that's staggered later on in the month. That's just how I try and do it. But it does get harder as we get older. It gets harder and harder. Um, Everyone's saying hello. Jackie says, "My sister is always forgetting where she puts stuff." My worst thing, two things, my keys and my phone. Oh my gosh, how many times have I forgotten? Or my daughter can tell you, I'm running around trying to find, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Or my keys. Now I try to keep them I find keeping things in the same place all the time is very helpful. That's what helps me. Um, Nora says, famous Amos once said, when people say money can't buy happiness, it's because they're shopping in the wrong store. Oh, famous Amos. He had a lot of good sayings, didn't he? Oh, and some darn good cookies too. Oh my goodness. Uh Ma SF Garden Oasis says, I think being reflective and having a purpose as we age. I agree. I absolutely agree. Being reflective, being able to think things through, and having a purpose. Um, I think remember what's his name wrote that book, The Purpose Driven Life? The Rick Warren, the pastor over at Saddleback, wrote that book, The Purpose Driven Life, and it was a just a viral success. And that's because people are looking for a purpose in life. They're trying to figure out how to determine what their purpose in life is. And I think if you have that, it gives your life so much more meaning. And I would say that having meaning would cause you to live longer. That gives you something to look forward to. JMU Breder says, I've been anti-aging with molecular hydrogen for 5 years. It really does anti-age. What is molecular hydrogen and how does it work? Is it like getting into one of those barium, those chambers, with oxygen like Michael Jackson did? If so, I doubt that's something I can afford. But I'm curious, what is molecular hydrogen? Hey, V. Allen says, it's not for the faint of heart. So many ups and downs, just aging gracefully. It is not for the faint of heart. And I think how you age, how you choose, because you do have a choice. You don't have a choice on everything that will impact you or affect you or what, but you do have a choice on how you respond if you do it gracefully. That you do have a choice about. Uh, Maisvan said, my Sivan, I hope I'm pronouncing it not. If not, give me the phonetic pronunciation. Says Yvonne, so this is Yvonne, Mais Yvonne says, I have to set the alarm clock along with posting on my calendar for everything I'm to make sure I don't forget. I do too. If I don't post it, it's gone. It's just yeah. I might remember I have something that day, but I won't remember what it is or what time. So I have to post it. Now, of course, my lives, because I do them all the time, I remember. They say your long-term memory is a lot better than your short-term. And since I've been doing these lives for so long, they're part of my long-term memory, and that's probably why I remember them. Vaughn says, "The older I get, the less I care about what others think. Absolutely." Marie says, "I want to leave too, so yes, and yes, I would appreciate it." Yeah, I will. I will. Um, let me say this. I will say this, Maria. It is the two areas I looked at were in well, were in Asia, being Vietnam and um Thailand. See what I mean? Take me a minute to get it out. Vietnam and Thailand, and also Central America. And I decided Vietnam and Thailand, the language I thought was going to be a little too challenging for me to try and learn at this age. And I want to be able to communicate in the language of the country where I'm at. And so I decided South America would be a better choice. So that's where I'm focusing is on South America. Also, the other thing was it's like takes a whole day to get to like Vietnam. And I just didn't want to have to take a whole day to get back and forth if I needed to. It was just too much for me. Whereas some countries in Central America I can get to, really in 7 hours, which is what it takes me to get to the East Coast if I fly Southwest, having to make a stop in between, to change planes. So that's what I decided. I will let you know that, Maria. Sheila says, "I agree with you. I really don't care what people think about my decision. Everyone has an opinion, it seems." That's true. Everyone has an opinion. And, those whose judgment I value, I will listen to. Anyone else, no, it doesn't really make it. Now, unless it's someone who's really a bona fide expert in an area that I'm looking at, um, and they offer some insight, that's different, but just someone giving a random opinion, no. Um, are someone judging me harshly that I don't know and someone who doesn't really care about me? No, don't care about what you think. Sheila says, "I agree with you. I really don't." Oh, I already said that. Maria says, "I want to leave too." I think I already read that too. Okay. Letha says, see, senior moments here, right unfolding before your very eyes. Letha says, "Oh, wow, she's misreading every single one of my posts today." No, I'm just reading exactly aloud what it says, but hopefully I'm not misreading. But now you've made it clear, and I'm glad you did clarify that, Letha. Sheila says, "I'm going to make what works for myself." And that's the best thing to do. That really is the best thing to do. Only you ultimately knows what really is going to work for you. You know what your motivation is, what your desires are, what your dreams are, what your fears are, and you have the most information about yourself. Other people's insights can be helpful, those who know you and care about you and love you, but the final decision here's the bottom line. The consequences of your actions are going to fall on you. So, since you're going to have to deal with the consequences, you've got to make the decision. Bunny says, "Worrying what others think is paralyzing." It is. It really is. And it's a burden. Hey, plain vanilla Grandma Carol. Hello, hello. Says, "Hello, everyone. I'm late, but I'm here now. Yes, best thing was when I learned that what other people think about me is just none of my business." You're so right. It's none of their business, and it's none of your business what they think. Just keep it moving. That's so true. Stay tuned says, "I agree, Carol. Caring what other people think of you is huge, huge, huge burden." Did I say huge? Yeah, you did. Nora says, "Carol, Letha is agreeing with you. She was saying how awful to be paralyzed with worry about other others' opinions. Oh yeah, I wasn't. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. I didn't understand what she was saying on that one. I did not get what she was saying on that one. And I mixed and I sorry, apologize, Letha. I mixed you up with someone else on the thing about wealthy. That was someone else. Okay, senior moments here. Excuse me, please. Forgive me. Show me some grace. I'm senior having senior moments here on my live. I, I couldn't demonstrate the point I'm making any more than my own behavior right now. Letha says, I haven't cared about what others thought since I was about 15, 16. Well, that's good. You came onto that earlier than I was, so you're ahead of the game, Letha. This will probably get misread too. No, it's not getting misread. I'm finally on track with what you're saying. Yeah, I think you were much more fortunate than most people, Letha, because teenage years, especially around those years, 15, 16, are some of the most challenging years. And so many teenagers suffer mightily based on what their peers think of them. And and some never really get over it. Their whole sense of self-worth is determined by sometimes a few comments in junior high or high school that they carry with them the rest of their life. So if you got past that early, you're much more fortunate than many people. Stay tuned is saying hi, hi. Hey, Pat D says, as you get older, you are less able to endure pain. I would agree with that. I think when you're really young, you have a difficult time, and I think when you're much older, you have a difficult time. I'm living with unbearable pain in misery for 16 years until I finally am able to get cured. I got a divorce. Ah, okay, okay. Well, that was your pain, and you cut that pain out. Okay. Well, I think some kinds of pain, emotional pain, sometimes we're better able to cope with. Physical pain, not so much, and sometimes maybe we aren't. Um, I think it just depends on the person as far as emotional pain. Hey, Cheryl, I'm doing well, thank you. Letha, yeah, I'm behind in the comments. I am. Uh, Sheila says everyone has an opinion on what you do. So true. Um, Letha says, thank you for understanding. I'm not upset because I know who I am. Well, that's a very good thing. Uh, Ma SF Garden Oasis says, if something negative people are comment heads my way, I think it, I wish it well, and drop it. If anyone had seen the movie Eat, Pray, and Love, this was said while she was in India. It works well. Yeah, I did see that movie and I really enjoyed it. Good point. Good point. Maria says, I felt the same way about my weight. Always wanted to be thinner. Now that I am older, I don't want to be the skinny twig. Yeah, I'll tell you what, as you get older, a little more plumpness helps us because you can kind of look a big haggish as we get older and we're really thin. Um, Maria. So, but I think the main thing is just being comfortable and being content with who you are and where you are and just being accepting of yourself for who you are. Um, Nora says 94 people in live stream, only 46 likes. Okay, folks, let's get those likes up. I want to get up to 94 people hitting likes. Nora, can you keep up and keep us posted on how many people are right now? I'm going to give a moment for everyone to go hit that like button. Dun 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 dun. Da, 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 da. Okay, everyone have a chance to hit that like button. Jackie says, since I've been back from Japan, I don't have patience for rude people. Yeah, yeah, there are a lot of not just rude, but angry people out there. Yeah, and a lot of angry people. Everyone is saying hello. Freddie Schaefer, hey Freddie, says aging but still have to work at 70. at least I'm able to supplement my Social Security check. And that's a blessing to be able to do that, Freddie. It really is. Um, Critical injury in 2012 drained my savings and retirement funds. I'm just thankful for surviving and getting well. Well, I'm thankful for you getting well too, Freddie. And I pray that you will continue to prosper and I keep saying this, and I have a video that I want to get out and just have not been able to get together with a person who's going to show us how. I'm going to show you all how to perhaps for each of you to make some extra money. I don't think it would be that hard to make an extra $500 a month. I think it would be very easy to make $200 a month extra. And for some people, $200 a month extra could be the difference between them getting their medications and not, or between them having, being able to keep their heat at a level that's comfortable. I mean, being able to eat every day. So, yeah, so I just am working on getting together with this person. I have to go up to LA to get together with him, and it's just been a challenge to do that, especially since I'm going to be on the road this week and then on the road in December, but I'm going to reach out to her and see what her schedule permits. And she works full time, so it's a challenge for us to get a time together that we're both available. But I'm going to work on it. I really am. But yeah, I'm sorry you're having to continue work, Freddie, because of the draining of your savings. But I'm glad that you're able to, and just pray that God will continue to bless you and maybe even change your circumstances so you won't have to, or maybe you'll be able to benefit when I eventually get this video out. Catherine's Fabulous 60s says, I'm right in the middle of a big crowd in downtown Bentonville, Arkansas for the Christmas lighting. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. Wow, they're lighting it before Thanksgiving. That's cool. So you get to have those Christmas lights for a while. Yvonne from Mais Vivon says, Von's on a roll. Thank you. I do use my clock app as much as the calendar. Everyone's saying hello. Always wondering, wandering says all the time, always stumbling with remembering the word or name. I don't even try remembering names because I know it's just hopeless. It's hopeless for me. Um, I sometimes I'll do this. If I do this to you, you'll know what I'm doing now because I'm telling on myself. Sometimes I will be talking to someone and I'll know their name and someone will come up whose face I recognize and I don't remember their name. So I'll just say, "Oh, hi, Michelle. I'm going to let you guys introduce each other to each other." I just say that because I don't want to say, and who are you? So I just say, I'll let you guys introduce each other. And they'll say, oh, I'm such and such and that. And I'm kind of off the hook a little bit. But yeah, I'm very bad with names if I haven't seen a person quite a bit. And even if I was at a get together recently and I saw someone that I have seen at least 5 or 6 times during the preceding year, and I could not remember that person's name to save my life. And, they're a very pleasing person who I always greet and we chat for a few minutes, but I could not remember that person's name. So yeah, I understand always wondering, wandering. Hey, Joy B, hello, hello. Cheryl says senior moments are now a way of life. Yeah, they are for me. I have moments of youth moments. I have moments of youth moments. Oh, I guess I should say my way. Yeah, I get you. So my way of life is senior, and I only have youth moments versus senior moments. Most of my life is senior. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that would probably be more accurate to describe me too, Cheryl. Oh my gosh. Uh, Clark says, "Hey, you're not old. We have the vintage advantage." That's true. Thank you. I like that vintage advantage argument every day with my body with exercises. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Um Graham says the bride just walked in and said to say hello to everyone for her. Oh, so now you're going to be on your best behavior, Graham, because the bride's there. Tell the bride hi. Tell her hi and tell her to keep whipping you with a wet noodle to keep you in line. Oh my goodness. But how is the bride doing, Graham? Tell her we send our regards and best wishes and good thoughts for her full recovery. Hey, GBO searcher says I've learned to say no and not feel bad. That's a good point. That's another thing I've learned to be able to say as I get older, to say no. Nope, that's not going to work for me. And no, I can't do that. I'm sorry, but that's not something I can do. Thank you for bringing that up. That is something. By the way, the nightmare renter moved out. Oh, I told everyone don't ask me for any favors. I don't need a room or a renter for a house on sale. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Thank goodness for that. But yeah, I've learned as we get older, I hope we're able to say no when we really need to. Um Christ Thomas says, this channel and subject is great for people 55 and older. Yes, we are aging. Yay, a blessing. It is a blessing. It's a blessing that we're still here. And it's a blessing if we're in our right minds, even if we slip a little now and then. It's a blessing. Cheryl says, they say youth is wasted on the young. We now know we are enough. Only have to please our own conscience and no one else. How great would that have been to have known that years ago? Yeah, I don't think a lot of things that I know now, I think, oh, if only I had known this. But I wouldn't have known what to do with a lot of it if I'd known it then. Now I know what to do with some of the wisdom that I've accumulated. I just would not have known before. Sheila says, I really don't think I'm remarkable. Oh, you are, Sheila. You are. Trust me, you are. Letha says, barefoot shoes are wonderful. If you know, you know. Barefoot shoes, I think I've heard of them. Aren't they kind of like let's see, what are barefoot shoes? Let's see. Barefoot shoes. I think uh aren't they the ones that kind of have the the thing where they kind of dip down a little? I'm looking to see. Okay. All right, I'm seeing. These are different from the ones I thought. I thought you were talking about something else. Oh, okay. So they look comfortable, that's for sure. And it says that huh. So you shop by function, whether you're using them for the gym, for everyday wear, for outdoors, or pain relief. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. Have shoes that you could use for pain relief, even. I'll have to check that out. Always wandering says barefoot shoe lets you feel the ground and have a wide toe bed. Oh, that's something I need because when my toes are scrunched up, I'm really miserable. I'll have to check them out. Are they very expensive? Maybe, hey, maybe they'll be having Black Friday specials. Plain vanilla grandma says, I only wear barefoot shoes. Hey, how come I have I'll have to check these out. Cheryl says barefoot shoes are like walking barefoot, healthiest for the feet, but protection for the feet. Okay, very comfortable. Well, this is several recommendations. I will have to check them out. Okay, Sheila. If you have any foot or knee problems, I'll definitely check them out. Caroline says, I do see the value and wisdom in the way I was brought up. Yeah, I do too, Caroline. I do too. Pat D says trying to pull words out when I'm talking to somebody about something is really worrying for me now. Is happening more and more frequently. Pat, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, if it's your next doctor's appointment, I think as we all get older, we really need a geriatric doctor, a doctor who really works and specializes in older people, and you could mention that to them. I know I have a friend who swears by doing crossword puzzles and other things. And I know when Jay was smaller, younger, and on the spectrum, a doctor that I talked about really kind of chastised me. He said, you don't have her doing puzzles and this and that. That really helps develop the brain processing. And so I'm thinking of doing puzzles, and word search helps process kids' brains We know that people can learn again after stroke, so that means the brain still has some fluidity. I would think that perhaps doing word search and puzzles and crossword puzzles, although I hate crossword puzzles, but word search and maybe just physical puzzles might help. I think it could help, and it's something that I'm engaging in more and more because it helps your cognitive abilities, I think. And even those things where you try and match things up, they say can help. Um, Cheryl says, play wars games and matching games. Yeah, several times per day. It actually helps a lot, and science backs it up. Yes, I didn't know about the science backing it up for as you get older, but I know that the psychiatrist who was doing some evaluations for processing and reasoning said that those types of activities help develop a young brain. So I think it would help maintain an older brain. It makes sense. Savannah says, with long life, will I satisfy you? Hey, I've hit the promise 70. So Savannah, I'm a happy camper. Victoria says, plain vanilla. Grandma Carol, I need to check out barefoot shoes. Yeah. Savannah says that too. Uh Clark says, senior moments now, CRS. What is CRS? Can't remember stuff. Well, I was feeling really a little bit paranoid until I talked to so many of my other friends that are my age bracket and older, and they're experiencing the same thing. So that really kind of reassured me and helped me to realize that it's part of the aging process, and it stopped me from being so scared. I was really starting to get a little scared, to tell you the truth, but it really helped me. Bunny says, keep learning and you'll grow new neurons. I believe that. I believe you can grow new brain pathways. I do. And I'm going to be learning a new lesson, which is Spanish. I speak English, obviously, and some French, but I'm going to now start learning Spanish. So, so hopefully that'll develop some new brain neurons and help my brain be more fluid and more flexible and pliable. Um, Savannah says, yes, always learning something new and doing new things. Libby, hey, Libby Gardner, hi, says, very familiar with word finding issues, but attribute to 30 years of chronic fatigue syndrome. Oh, the more fatigued I am, the worse it is, but nothing like 20 to 30 years ago. Well, that's good. It sounds like it's better than it was, Libby. I hope it is. And I imagine I think we're a holistic being where everything is connected to everything else. So if something is wrong in one area, it affects more than that one area. So I could see where chronic fatigue would have an impact, Libby. I could see that. Sheila says, I believe it has my athlete careers and my accounting degrees has something to do with this. I wouldn't be surprised, Sheila, if that is in fact the case. Cheryl says laughter truly is the best medicine as it releases dopamine and is healing, so laugh it off. Did anyone ever read that book called um Love, Medicine and Miracles? I think that's the name of it. I need to get another copy because I think it's called, hold on, book called Love, Medicine and Miracles. Yeah, it's Love, Medicine and Miracles by Bernie Siegel. And it talks about how laughing, I know this sounds really out there, but how some of his patients, just sat and watched Groucho Marx and the Marx Brothers movies and different things. And they just laughed. I mean, really sincere, not fake, but just laughed and laughed and laughed. And how it improved their physical condition. So, yeah, Cheryl, there is science behind that too, but it's a book, and I strongly, strongly recommend it for everyone, but especially seniors. And it's called Love, Medicine, and Miracles. And I read it years and years ago, and I've forgotten all about it. I don't know where my copy is. I think I gave it away. I need to get another copy of that book and read it because it's really pertinent and relevant for this stage in my life. Um, Clark says, worry paying rent on a problem you cannot fix or a problem you cannot fix. Yeah, paying rent, you worry on a problem you cannot fix. Even worrying about it, Clark, I would say is not helpful. I would say trying to work on coming up with solutions is okay, is good, in fact. But worrying about it, being upset about it, and letting it bother you, because just worrying about it without any concrete action to change it is not beneficial. And I would say that it's harmful. That's just my opinion. Uh, Everyone's still saying hello. John's Deb says, it worries me too when I forget. The other day, for the life of me, I couldn't remember the school I drive out of in the morning. My mind was completely blank. I know that can be a really, really frightening thing. Something happened to me the other day and I can't remember. So I can't be scared about it because I can't remember it. I just remember it happened. Something I should have known that was just very common was somewhere I was going, and I just, for a moment, I couldn't remember which way to go. And I was like, oh, I really started to panic. And I thought, okay, let me just calm down. And then when I calmed down, it came back to me. So I think, though, as you know, when we start to panic, it makes it worse, you know. And I think when you just relax, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, calm yourself, do self-soothing talk, even if you don't remember what exactly it was you need to, it'll calm you down, and that in itself is helpful. You know, we should do some sessions on some things we need to do as seniors to stay calm and not, let our minds, because, our minds can get carried away and start thinking all kinds of terrible things and start projecting all kinds of things on ourselves that may or may not really be accurate. Graham says, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming is not just a good saying, but also the best exercise for us old people with less impact on worn out joints. I do that, Graham. I do swim in the swimming pool, but I'll tell you the truth. I try and get in the jacuzzi at the gym when no one's in there and do a little swimming in the gym because it's so much more comforting in the jacuzzi. Oh my goodness, what can I say? Sheila says, no money will not make you happy. You need to find your own happiness. I agree. Vet Burner Chick. Hey, Vet Burner Chick says, it used to bother me when people were negative towards me, but I don't care anymore. So I live in their head rent free. I don't care what they think is none of my business. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vaughn says, worrying about tomorrow only drains the happy out of today. Vaughn, that is so, so wise and such a great thing to say. I'm gonna copy that. Worrying about tomorrow does drain the happy out of today. That is so true. So true. It yes, 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 yes. Okay, I got a copy of that. I have to keep that. Let me put it in my screenshots. I have to keep that. You guys say such smart things on here that um I want to remember. Um, oh my gosh, it's 4:15. I had no idea it was this late. Oh my goodness. Sheila says, I believe that I can do anything but I decide to do. I think that's pretty much true with most things, Sheila. I do. Cheryl says, Graham, so true. In water, we are weightless, so easier to get a good workout without the harshness on the bod. Very true. Hey, Donald, my brother, I finally got to you. Hey, Donald's in the house. Uh, Violet Content Boutique says, hi there, Carol and fam. I think stress is the factor that makes us to lose those nouns. At least that seems to be for me. I think stress can play a big part, Violet. I absolutely, Violetta, it can play a big part in our mental health and functioning. Sandra says, I found that auto pay is a real blessing these days. I have several things on auto pay, and it is very helpful. Clark says, no money, no honey. Now that sounds something that a younger person would say, Clark. Liddell says, my dad lived longer than anyone in our family. He lived to be 92. He didn't consider himself old till about 90. He refused at 86 to go to any senior citizen center. Wow, wow. So, hey, that's your goal to surpass 92, huh, Liddell? Oh my goodness. Graham says they are now realizing that sitting down and being active, oh yeah. Oh, it's worse than smoking for you. And the worst of all is loneliness. Now, I can believe that. I can believe that. Try and surround yourself with family and friends as much as possible. Graham, they say even a baby will not thrive, will failure to thrive if it's not held and caressed. And so, if a baby needs that, how much the baby, even without knowing anything about life, knows that they need that touch and feel and connection. How much more do we have a need for that? Patty says, had a friend many years ago who had a keychain that would make a sound when she clapped her hands. I'm sure there must be something like that now. Oh, yeah, I need to get one of that for and attach it to my phone case and also to my keys. Don says, that's on point, Graham. Cheryl says, hydrogen water is fantastic. Huh. Marty says, I use a red Sharpie for important things on my kitchen calendar. Vaughn says hydrogen water is drinkable, right? I don't know. Someone here can tell Cheryl, can you drink hydrogen water? Plain vanilla. Grandma says, last June, my doctor felt like I had all the signs of a brain issue, NPH, similar to dementia, and hearing her tell me was terrifying. She said she had me have a spinal tap, MRI, CAT scan. I'm fine, thank God. I am so grateful for that, plain vanilla, Grandma. I know you must have been so relieved. It must have been terrifying. Uh my father, stay tuned, as my father always said, aging ain't for sissies. Your father told the truth, stay tuned. He absolutely told the truth. Cheryl says aging is a real blessing. My husband didn't get to age, and I know he would have so loved to miss him. Yeah, it is a blessing, Cheryl. It really is. Despite all the challenges, it is really a blessing. Pat D says, Patty, I had a friend a long time ago. I've been. Hmm. I'm kind of missing what that is. Don says, I forget things from one room to another. Me too, Donald. Me too. Hey, Al Dente. Hello, hello. Joy B says, I rest much easier after I write things down. Me too. I love writing things down. And I love making lists because I'm kind of compulsive. So making lists just makes me happy. I don't want too much on my mind. I have more peace that way. Me too. When I if Here's the thing, when I write something down, it drains out of my mind. So I better not lose that list, because once I write it down, it's gone from my brain, because I guess psychologically I think, okay, don't need to retain it. I've got it written down. So I have a notebook that I carry around with me, and that is very helpful. Don Miller says he's most definitely correct. Stay tuned. Sheila says, today is 8 months since my first surgery on my broken patella. I'm very thankful that I'm being able to do anything I choose to. I bet, like you said, your physical condition had a your being in shape had a big part to do with that, Sheila. I bet it did. Uh, Yvonne said, where in Central America is safe? Well, there are a couple of places that are considered safer. Let me put it like that. And that would be Costa Rica and Panama. Those are a couple places that many people think are safer than other places. Um, Donald says nowhere. I don't agree, Donald. Don't agree. I don't agree. Maria says, thank you for answering my question. Your decision sounds good. Graham says, I think you would be surprised at just how many people around the world that can speak English. I always find that if you try and speak the local languages, no matter how badly, they will love you. I find that to be true too, Graham. They will try to help you, and they really appreciate the effort. And now, where you get fewer people speaking English, and sometimes maybe none, is when you're out in the rural country areas of a country. But when you're in the major metropolitan centers, usually English is spoken almost everywhere, is what I have found to be the case. Maria says, my Yvonne, well, the USA isn't safe that much anymore. Well, some places certainly are, and some places are getting even worse. Al Dente said, two wrongs don't make right, but three lefts do. Okay, all right. Violetta says, Don, I forget from one room to the next too. It helps to say it out loud before I get up. Oh, okay. I'll have to try that. I'll have to try that. Donald says, I might just try that because nothing else seems to work. Maria says, Yvonne, well, the USA isn't that safe. Too many mass shootings. Yeah, and much more. That is so true. Sheila says, me too, Lisa. I completely agree with you. Stay tuned says squirrel. I'm not getting that. Yvonne says emotional pain seems like a poison. It can be. It can be if you let it be. Billy says, I have things written on post it notes and hanging up where I can see what I need to do. I know sometimes I have post it notes too. Oh my goodness. Yvonne said, plumpness smooths out the wrinkles. Yes, it does. It does. Look at my plump face. Oh my goodness. Although I do have a few wrinkles under here, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Hey, like I said, I'm getting to the point I don't care anymore. That is such a relief. Such a relief. Oh my goodness. Hey, goddess, Wild Red speaks the truth. All right, folks. Well, I've got to get out of here because I got to get headed out tomorrow, and I still have some packing to do and some other things to do. So, Marta says so many seniors are abandoned by the kids we've raised who now have no use for us, and that is sad. That really is sad, and I'm so sorry to hear that. Hey, Rhonda's lovely spark says, hi, sis. Hey, sis, yourself. How's it going? Hey, Barry. Hello, Barry. Turning in late, but glad to be here. Please do the thumbs up routine because we are behind. Thank you. How many thumbs up do we have and how many people in here? Freddie, Maria says, Freddie, you're an inspiration. Billy saying, I agree. Everyone's saying hi to Barry. Hey, Barbado Dove, how's it going? Did I say Barbado Dove? Hey, Barbara Dove. Wishful thinking. I wish I was in the Barbados right now. So, hey, Barbara. Oh my goodness. Was that a senior moment? Does that qualify as a senior moment? You know, sometimes I'll look at the beginning of a word, BAR, and I'll just decide what the end of it is without reading the rest of it. Do any of you ever do that? uh Thomas says, or Chris, I mean Chris Thomas, why did I say Christ? Chris Thomas says, great topic for those of us 55 and older. It's a blessing to continue aging. It is. Oh, okay, Vaughn. See you next time. I've got to go too. I have to go too. Um, Sharon says, too rich and too poor would be stressful to me. I'm happy where I'm at. Yeah, right in the middle is a good place. Thanks, Carol, and I appreciate that. All right, Nora, I will see you. Cheryl says, saying no to my kids is still so tough for me, and the killer is they know it. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, folks, Graham says, the bride thanks you for your love and well wishes. She's a lot better. Oh, I'm good. But she's falling apart. The list starts at her head all the way to her feet without too much left out. Graham, you're gonna get a whipping. You are. But you're I'm glad that I'm glad that she is getting our well wishes, and I'm just praying that she will do better, Graham, and everything. She'll just have full recovery on every single item that and issue that she needs. We really do hope that, Graham. All joking aside, we do hope that. Liza says, check out Blue Zone's Kitchen. Oh, okay. On YouTube. Okay. Blue Zone's Kitchen. All right. Something as simple as staying hydrated can help too. Yeah, food is medicine. That's true, Liza. All right. Violetta says, does the bride have a name? I know. We always call her the bride, but we never know the bride's name. Hey, Randy. Randy says, always keep trying. I'm only 4 weeks from my last stroke. Oh, wow. 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 Let's just say a word of prayer real quick for Randy. Just, Lord, just touch Randy's body. whatever effects have happened from the stroke, we ask that you reverse any damage that may have caused. We ask that from the top of his head to the tip of his toes, that you just touch him, and you're the mighty healer, the all omnipotent God who knows all, can do all. We ask that you just right now, with all of us gathered and praying for Randy, that he just has a miraculous, unexplainable recovery. And we just pray for your total and complete recovery and rehabilitation, Randy. And I'm just so glad that you're here with us still, and just so happy to see you here in the chat, Randy. Yes, I continually pray for him too, Miss Net, and thank you. Lady Sarita says learning a language and playing an instrument is good for the brain. Well, I do play an instrument and I'm starting to learn a language, so maybe my brain, you know. Jackie said I use my bad Spanish in Japan. Now that's kind of interesting. Yes, Sheila, we do pray and hope that Randy continues to improve. Graham says the funny thing is my bride is more broken than I am, but she gets a career's allowance for looking after me. I have to constantly remind her I might have to cut her pay. Well, it doesn't sound like 1160 a day is that much. I would charge a whole lot more for looking after you, Graham. That's for sure. Cheryl says great for pain relief. Add well as emotional pain, laughter as well. Laughter, absolutely. Chris says, I read that eating blueberries every day helps the memory in older adults. Interesting. I'm going to give it a try because I have so many senior moments. Well, I'm going to give it a try too. I'll try. That's a simple thing to try. Plain vanilla grandma says, um, regarding dementia and MPH diagnosis, the moment you prayed for me, I knew I'd be fine. Oh, I am so glad. I'm so glad we did pray for you. And you know, the Bible says where two or more are gathered, that he's present. So if he's present and listening, and it says that he, you know, he wants to bless us, not to harm us. So all right, Lady Teresa, there's a guy whose cancer went into remission. He says he watched comedies daily and feels that's why. You know, get the book Love, Medicine, and Miracles. It's an old book, but it has a lot, I think, it's not a big, thick book. So you can really go through it pretty easily. But Love, Medicine, and Miracles, it talks about the value and the medicinal and medical value of laughter. It really has healing properties. Violetta says, I think memory is tied to being in sync. Sometimes we have to slow down and resync our mouths to our brains. My mind works so much faster than my mouth sometimes. I have to say my mouth sometimes works faster than my brain, unfortunately. So I like to reverse it so my brain works better than my mouth. All right. Yeah, sometimes we do have to slow down, though, Violetta. Miss Net says, my doctor recommended avocado guacamole several times a week for memory health. Well, now I'm going to be eating all kinds of avocados and blueberries. Both I love, so that's a good thing. Barry says, I use the GPS in the car all the time. It gets me wherever I have to go. Do you think they could have a GPS inside our house while we do daily things like activities? I don't know, Barry, but I definitely need a GPS for my phone and keys to find a. Lady Sarita says, I love my water aerobics. And Cheryl says, deep breathing. Now, I do agree with deep breathing. Wow. Maria says, my dad lived to 101. I'm so sorry that he passed, but what a blessing that you were able to have him till 101. Oh my goodness. Very true on touch. Hug yourself if no one around. Touch is very important. It really is. And that's why having a dog, Cuddles comes up, and even Cuddles knows that he comes up and has to give his 2 or 3 hugs every day and lay against me for me to hug him. So even a dog realizes how necessary that is. And in turn, it helps me because seniors who have pets live longer. That's been proven. Oh, all right. Sheila says at 78, I've outlived both my parents and grandparents. I'm very blessed and thankful. Oh, wow. Plain Vanilla says, I bought my first barefoot shoes from Hike Footwear, 2 pair for 70. Oh, well, that's good. And then found some much cheaper Amazon and Temu. Okay, Lorax Pro are what I wear. I'll check that out. I definitely will check it out. Cheryl says, yes, you can buy hydrogen water bottled, and you can get a machine that hydrogenates the water. Okay. Wow. Sheila says, my husband died at 50. Wow, young. Miss him every day. Stay tuned says, I used to have a boss who said that if he lost another brain cell, the last brain cell would die of loneliness. Oh my goodness. Sounds like he had a sense of humor. Cheryl says, I forget where the list was left. Yeah, Barry says the same thing. I have to work on it. That's why I keep my little notebook in my purse. All right. All right, John's Deb. Happy Thanksgiving. I want to just wish I've got to go. I know there's lots more comments. I wish I could get to them. But I like to try and give attention to everyone that I read. But I'm looking at the end. Marta says, thank you, Carol, for all you do to keep us informed, motivated, and for having this channel available to all. Happy, blessed Thanksgiving. All of you, I wish you a blessed Thanksgiving. I might even do a short live on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. But happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And if you're able to just say a word of thanks, you are already blessed that you're in your right mind and know to be able to do that. So we all have something to be thankful for. And I'm thankful for you, each and every one of you. I love even each and every one of you, and just pray that your journeys and your daily goings and comings are filled with joy and blessings each and every day. And I will see you next week. I'm going to get this video up. It's going to come up very late, probably, oh my gosh, 5 o'clock. But you know what? I'm getting it up because I think it's important to still get up. Love you. Love each and every one of you. And I will see you down the road. And next week, I'll be on location somewhere, and I'll let you know when I get there. All right. Talk to you later. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye, everyone. See you next time. Let me end this stream and end it wishing you all a happy